Welcome to the lesson, Cause and Effect. In this lesson, you will identify cause and effect relationships in different texts. If you see this icon on the screen, it means that a worksheet or a video is available for you in the description below. The worksheet for this lesson can be found at link number 1. Download it now if you haven't already. Cause and effect refers to a relationship between different events, where one thing is responsible for something else happening. A cause happens first. It's why something happens. To find the cause, ask, why did this happen? An effect happens after the cause. It tells us what happened. Why is being able to identify cause and effect important? It helps us to understand the events that are happening. It helps us to understand what's happening and why it's happening. Before we go any further, let's have a look at some simple cause and effect relationships. Cause, it is hot and sunny. Effect, the woman goes to the beach. The cause is the why, it happens first. The effect is the what, it happens after the cause. Here's another. Cause, Sarah stayed up late. Effect, she was tired in the morning. If you'd like some more examples of cause and effect, check out the video using link number 2. Activity 1. Here are some incomplete cause and effect relationships. In some, the cause is missing, while in the others, the effect is missing. Your job is to fill in the blanks to complete the cause and effect relationships. For example, the first is missing a cause. Your job will be to think of what might have caused this effect. The second has a cause but no effect. You'll need to think of what the effect might have been and write it in. There is more than one possible answer for these questions. Notice that for the last one, you need to give more than one effect. Download the lesson worksheet by clicking on link number 1 in the description below if you haven't already. Pause the video here until you're ready to move on. Let's look at some possible answers. Were any of yours the same as mine? Check to make sure that all of your causes happened first. For example, the bird seeing a cat, and that the effects happened after. For example, that bird flying away. Pause here until you've checked all of your answers. Activity 2. So, how can we tell if a cause and effect relationship is occurring in a text? We can look for signal words. These signal words tell the reader that there might be cause and effect occurring. Here are some cause and effect signal words. So, therefore, if, because, then, due to, thus, since, as a result, consequently. Look at an example that we had earlier in the lesson. Here, an arrow is representing cause and effect. But we could also use a signal word to show that there is a relationship between the two events. Sarah was tired in the morning because she stayed up late. Or, Sarah stayed up late, thus she was tired in the morning. Can you see the signal words I used? Because and thus. Your job in this activity will be to find the cause and effect within sentences, using signal words to help you. Each of the following sentences contains a cause and effect relationship. Identify which is the cause and which is the effect. Write them down on your worksheet. If you haven't already, download the lesson worksheet by clicking on link number 1 in the description. Carolina was happy because she had won first place. The footsteps outside caused the dog to start barking. Since it was almost bell time, the teacher asked the class to tidy up. If Louise does her jobs, she gets $10 from her parents. Let's go through the answers. Now, we know that within a cause and effect relationship, the cause comes first and the effect comes last. But it doesn't always have to be written in that order. Take the first sentence, for example. Carolina was happy because she had won first place. Within the sentence, the effect has been written before the cause. Here are the rest of the answers. Pause while you check your work. Activity 3. In this next activity, you'll have to dig a little deeper to find cause and effect. You'll be given a passage of text to read and asked to find different cause and effect relationships within it. Looking for signal words will be particularly important in this activity. We'll start off by doing one together before you have a go by yourself. Here's the text we'll read together. Shrinking habitat of African elephants. The human population in Africa has increased rapidly, causing a growing demand for farmland. This demand for land has caused the natural habitat of elephants to shrink. As a result, elephants have less space to roam, meaning they come into contact with humans more frequently. Farmers' fields and crops are often disturbed by these wandering elephants, leading to conflicts between humans and elephants. More often than not, it is the elephants who lose this conflict. Logging and mining industries are also responsible for the declining number of elephants. Both of these practices destroy elephants' natural habitat, therefore making it more and more difficult for these animals to survive. Now, our task is to find cause and effect relationships. Did you spot any signal words? Here is a signal word I found, caused. This demand for land has caused the natural habitat of elephants to shrink. What is happening first? The demand for land or the habitat of the elephant shrinking? That's right, the demand for land comes first. This is the cause. The effect of this demand for land is the shrinking of the elephant's habitat. Here is another signal word I found, therefore. Both of these practices destroy elephants' natural habitat, therefore making it more and more difficult for these animals to survive. What happened first? The elephant's habitat being destroyed, or the fact that it is difficult for elephants to survive? That's right, the elephant's habitat being destroyed comes first. This is the cause. The effect is, it is more and more difficult for elephants to survive. These aren't the only cause and effect relationships in this text. You might have spotted more. Now it's your turn. You're going to read a new text and look out for cause and effect relationships. It's about sea turtles. Read through it yourself first, then we'll read it together afterwards. Pause here while you read. Now let's read it together. Feel free to skip to the activity if you had no trouble reading it yourself. Sea turtles. The sea turtle will choose a dry spot on the beach to dig her hole. In this hole, she will lay her eggs. This is because she wants to keep them safe from crabs and birds. A female sea turtle usually lays between 80 to 120 eggs. The eggs are strong. This means that they do not break when they are dropped into the nest. The eggs hatch after about 60 days. The baby turtles make their way to the water. If the babies hatch at night, most will make it safely to the water. If the babies hatch during the day, most will be eaten by crabs and birds. Now it's time for you to search the text. Look for 3 or 4 examples of cause and effect relationships and then write them down on your worksheet. The signal words are here to help guide you. Keep in mind that sometimes signal words aren't used even though a cause and effect relationship is present. And other times, signal words might be there, but cause and effect isn't. So remember, use signal words as a guide to finding cause and effect. Pause here while you work on this activity. Now let's go through the answers. I'm going to highlight the causes in green and the effects in red. She wants to keep her eggs safe. This is the cause. She lays her eggs in a hole. This is the effect. The eggs are strong. This is the cause. They don't break when dropped. This is the effect. Here is another cause. The babies hatch at night. And the effect is, most make it to the water. Finally, the babies hatch during the day. This is the cause. The effect of this is, most will be eaten by crabs and birds. Pause while you check your answers. Activity 4. Here's a new text for you to work with. It's about a special type of plant called the pitcher plant. We'll read it together after you've had a go of reading it by yourself. Pause here while you read it. Now we'll read it together. Feel free to skip ahead to the activity if you had no trouble reading it by yourself. Parts of a pitcher plant. The pitcher plant has deeply folded leaves, creating the shape of a cup. The inside walls of the pitcher plant are very slippery, causing insects that climb into the plant to slip to the bottom. The opening of the plant has several downward pointing hairs. Therefore, it is very difficult for insects to climb out. The pitcher plant also has a lid which can cover the opening. Without this lid, rainwater would fill the plant, thus diluting the important digestive juice. Although pitcher plants are native to North America, people all over the world are fascinated by them. Consequently, many nurseries around the world sell this amazing plant. Now it's time to complete the activity. Look for 3 or 4 examples of cause and effect relationships within the text, and then write them down on your worksheet. Pause here while you work through the activity. Here are some possible answers. Read through my answers and check them against your own. Were there any more? Perhaps you found one that I missed. For a bit of fun, use one of these pictures to help you write a sentence showing cause and effect. If you like, share it with others in the comments below. Well done for completing another lesson. Hope to see you again soon.